Hello there, welcome to AWS Tech Guide. Today we will learn how to develop my first Spring web application. Our agenda is we will use Spring Initializer to create a project, then create Git repository in GitHub and we'll push the project, the source code into our Git repository. And the last thing is develop a Spring Boot web application from scratch. For this tutorial, we need few prerequisites, and the prerequisites are you should have one GitHub account already and any integrated development environment or IDE like Eclipse. So let's go to GitHub first and create our repository. I'm logged into my GitHub repository, that is AWS Tech Guide. You can also browse this repository. It is at github.com/AWSTechGuide. So if I come under repositories, click on this repositories tab, then create on new button and give a repository name. Give some description. It's optional. I'm making it public, so if you need, you can access it too. Clicking on initialize this repository with readme and click on create repository. And as you see, this repository has been created. Now click on this button clone or download and copy this URL. Once you click here, it will copy. Now let's go back to your computer. Open a folder where you want to copy. And one more thing is that you should have Git installed in your system. So I'm just opening the command prompt here because I will be cloning this newly created Git repository here in my system. So type git clone, paste this repository URL, click enter. And it has completed cloning the new repository we have created. This is the repository we just created. Now let's go to Spring Initializer. So the Spring Initializer URL is start.spring.io. So we will be creating our web application project in Spring Initializer first. So by default it is Maven selected, language is Java, Spring Boot 2.2.6 version we are using currently, and I'm changing the group name as com.awstechguide. Artifact name is web app and selecting packaging as well because we are creating this web application. And now we have to add few dependencies. First dependency is because it is web app we are creating, so search for the web, and first one is Spring Web. Click on that. Next one, search for dev tools. It is very useful dependency. Once you will start developing, it will automatically compile your code. So it is very helpful dependency. So we are including it. And now click generate. So once you click generate, your project will be downloaded. So it is not the whole project, but the skeleton of the project has been created. So we do not need to create the skeleton of the project manually. Just right click it, extract all. I'm just extracting it here. It has extracted and I am copying this whole thing. Cut paste basically, and I'm going back to my workspace, and this repository we cloned it, I'm pasting over here. Okay, I have pasted. Now I am opening the command prompt from here. Okay, type git status and you will find on branch master your branch is up to date with origin/master, and we know that we have added a bunch of file here and we want to push it to our newly created Git repository. So type git add space dot, so it will consider all files to push. Now git commit -m and the message is initial commit git push. And it has pushed all files, whatever we have just copied here. So let's go back to our Git repository here, the one we created, just refreshing it here. And as you see that our files have been pushed successfully. Now it is the time that we will open our project in Eclipse. So open our Eclipse. It is open. Go to File, click on Import, search for existing Maven project, click on Next. Give your workspace location. It will automatically find the POM file and click on Finish. Let's close this welcome. And as you see that it has opened, it has imported our project here, and it is connected to our Spring Web App master. Spring Web App is our repository and master is our branch by default. Let's go to Java resources, and we see by default we have this package structure created, com AWSTechGuide.web app, and we have this web app application.java, which is the main class for Spring Boot application. Now our task is to create one web application. So first we will go to our pom.xml. So here in this pom.xml, I am just copying two dependencies. One is JSTL and another is Tomcat embed Jasper. And Tomcat embed Jasper is required when you are using the JSPs to read in our Spring Web application. So I'm save it. And now let's go back to src folder, main web app. Inside web app, we have to create web inf folder. So let's create a new folder under web app. Click folder web inf, and inside web inf we will keep our JSPs in a subfolder called views. So web inf /views. Click finish. So it has created two folders, and inside views, right click, new, click on JSP file, give JSP a name. You can give any name, but here I am giving index.jsp. But remember that you have given this JSP name as index.jsp because we will need it. Click next, keep it as it is, just click on finish. And as you see that it has just created this JSP with by default few tags. Let it be as it is. Now let's go back to our web app application.java, and in this same package we will be creating one controller. Create new class, give a name. I am giving a name here as home controller. Click on finish. And to specify this particular class as controller, we know that we have to add one annotation, that is controller. So the Spring will consider this particular class as one of the controllers. And now we are writing one small method, that is public string. Suppose I am giving this method name as home. Now you have to set a get mapping with this newly created method. So add one annotation, get mapping, and we want that when we will call the URL like /home, this method should be called. Okay. Now add model here, model, and model dot add attributes. We will add attributes. So let's add one attribute name as message, and one message like it is working colon, and we will be actually returning that JSP file we have created, that is index.jsp, right? So we will give this name as index. And now if we are giving this name as index, where it will get .jsp file, so we have to mention something in a configuration file. So let's go to src main resource application.properties, and we have to mention two things over here. Prefix and suffix. Prefix and suffix like Spring MVC view prefix. Prefix means the JSPs will be available within web INF and views under web app, the default folder, and the suffix will be .jsps. So I'm just saving it under application.properties. Now our home controller is ready. Our JSP has something to do. So inside body, let's give one h1 tag and write our message. It is the JSTL tag we are using, so it is $, then message. Now saving it. Let's go to web app application, right click, run as Java application. As you see that the Spring Boot has started, and it is showing Tomcat started on port 8080, started web app application. So let's go to our browser and find localhost, and our URL is home. So we will localhost 8080/home. Click. Perfect. And it's working. So today we have learned how to create one Spring Boot web application project in Spring Initializer, how to create Git repository in GitHub and push your code. Now we have made the changes throughout this development process. So we will go back to our command prompt portal and we will see git status. See, there are new files to be pushed. Git add, we are adding again the all files which are changed. Now we are adding this code update. Perfect. Now we have to push this file, git push. And as you see, it has pushed the updated files as well. So go back to our Git repository, click on refresh, and you see that there are 3 commits over here. And the code is also updated here. So thank you so much for watching this tutorial. If you have any query or question, please feel free to comment on this video, and see you in our next lecture. Thank you.